Hey guys, Ron here, and over the last year or so, I've made an effort to update my wardrobe. In the past, I would wear just, colored t-shirts, but you guys have noticed that I've been more conscious about what I am wearing. Kinda like how Game Freak stepped up their human character designs over the last few generations, compared to the, first 4. So the evolution of Pokemon character design, as well as my recent interest in fashion, has led me to create the Pokemon Outfit Challenge. I reached out to a bunch of YouTubers and streamers and asked them to partake in this challenge with me, where we pick a Pokemon and then dress ourselves in an outfit inspired by that Pokemon. I'm not talking about cosplay here. I'm talking about actual fits that we can, wear outside. Subtle get-ups that take inspiration from the colors and textures from the Pokemon we picked that only a Pokemon fan would notice and any other person would just think is a really cool outfit. Keep in mind, I asked many creators and a bunch declined, while a lot of others who did originally accept had to back out because of how tough this challenge is. So give everybody who managed to successfully showcase their ensemble some credit, and follow the links to their channels in the description, and leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. And subscribe if you're new, because I make tons of Pokemon related art videos and mega collabs like this. Consider joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member so that we can afford to make many more experimental videos like this one. Now it's time to finally show you guys what we've been working on for many months now, with individual vlogs that we've edited together. Let's naturally begin with me. So I had a ton of favorite Pokemon that I wanted to take inspiration from, but it wasn't until I bought this Hydrapple plush that I realized how quickly I've become a fan of this Pokemon. My wardrobe is already very green, but I don't have many clothes with this exact shade of green, so I had to buy a green shirt that wasn't too bright or I'd never wear it outside of this challenge, and while I'm at it, find a red jacket to mimic the apple. There were dark red puffy jackets and lighter, more bright ones, but I went with a jacket that I'd actually wear with a red that is just right for this challenge. I borrowed my brother's Among Us hat to wear as the apple on Hydrapple's horns. I wore beige pants like the underside of Hydrapple, with a brown belt as an accent that replicates the brown horns, and my usual dark green shoes that coincidentally looked like the leaves on its tail. I even bought these yellow tinted safety glasses to top it all off and match Hydrapple's eyes. And there you have it, a fit I legitimately wear on a colder autumn or spring day. Aside from the glasses, I will actually replicate this in the future. And goddamn do I love that Hydrapple plush.
As all my gorgeous girly pops out there know, an outfit isn't just the clothes you're wearing. I went with a slightly bolder version of my normal everyday makeup, adding lashes, a bigger wing, and a little pop of color, although it's kinda hard to spot. I use cheap eyeshadow, what can I say? The Pokemon that I chose for this collab is one that fits my wardrobe fairly well, I'd say. I own quite a lot of black clothes, and since the Pokemon I'm going for is on the spookiest side, I figured that would work quite well. I had more than a couple of options to go with. The main portion of the look, this purple dress, is actually Pokemon branded. It's part of a collaboration with Black Milk, and features Ghastly, Gengar, and Haunter, although that's not the Pokemon I actually chose. I threw some tights on and bunched the fabric a little bit on the side, to make it a little bit more rough around the edges. For accessories, I added plenty of metallic pieces, like these necklaces and these rings, as well as my signature earrings. I styled my hair, added some sunglasses, and it's Chandelure. As a lover of ghost types, I knew I had to go for something spooky, and it was these purple sunglasses that really sealed the deal. The flowy purple dress represents the wisps of flame that come out of Chandelure, and this black spiderweb-like top represents the intricate designs found on Chandelure's body. And the golden aspects of my jewelry help represent the yellow in the eyes that is lost in the more purple sunglasses. If I'm honest, I struggled with this a little bit more than I thought I would, but I'm so happy I participated. I had so much fun. I hope this ghost look isn't too haunting. Boo.
So I picked Obstagoon because I think in a different life I like to imagine myself as a bit of a rock and roll star. I think if I had any level of musical talent, I'd like to be parading up and down the stage with my big floofy hair, just like Obstagoon, drawing in all the attention. Also, I just had a bit of an outfit that you'll see I think really worked for this. Put on some rings, put on some bracelets. I've got grey jeans that I already owned. I got them in a charity shop a little while ago. Grey shirt plus a denim shirt gives it that kind of rocker vibe. Leave a couple buttons open. Got the chest hair, so that's very Obstagoon. He's a hairy, energetic dude with lots of grey, blacks, and whites, which is all clothing that I own. Also, I really need an excuse to use up some of the pink makeup from my pantomime last year, so this was a different way to do that and get the neon pink of Obstagoon's eyes under my own eyes as a little eyeliner. I tried doing a little black star on my face as well. That did not work out because I'm dyspraxic and doing this all back to front. Anyway, the piece that brings it all really together is my giant jacket, which is just so Obstagoon, it screams the look, and I was just having so much fun dancing around pretending to be Obstagoon. What a poser.
So the Pokemon that I picked was Mega Charizard X. Charizard has always been one of my favorite Pokemon, and Mega Charizard X only solidified that even further, so I had to represent the boy. Plus, the black and blue color scheme is already a huge part of my wardrobe, so this outfit came together pretty easily. Right away, I knew my light blue hoodie had to be the centerpiece. It's one of my favorites to wear and perfectly matches Mega Charizard X's light blue stomach and flames. Next, black pants, because obviously. And for the outer layer, it could have honestly been a black bomber jacket or even a black coat, but my black leather jacket just fit the best. It nails that edgy, tough look that Mega Charizard X has. Now, although that's pretty much it for the main fit, I still needed a dark blue element to reflect Mega Charizard's wings. So I searched online for these dark blue winter gloves and matching hat. Not only do they match the color scheme, but the grayish white accents remind me of Charizard's claws. My sneakers have some white too, tying it all together. The final touch are these red sunglasses I ordered to represent Mega Charizard X's red eyes. So overall, this was a really fun challenge, and now it has me thinking about what other Pokemon inspired outfits I can pull off next.
I picked Tsarina for her intricate design. I think she had so many unique elements, and I just love her colour scheme, as my favourite colours are pink and green. When I realised not everything was going to be in my wardrobe, I decided I would thrift the rest by hitting all of my local charity shops, and I was amazed that I managed to find basically everything I needed for this outfit. Starting with the most important part of my outfit, my bubble dress! I just knew this had to be the key part of the outfit, with Tsarina's design featuring something very similar. I then put my hair in a massive bun to represent her crown. I used a giant green scrunchie just to kind of match her hair, and some lovely dangly heart earrings because she just seems to be that girl. Moving on to my pink polo neck jumper. I got so lucky with this find, the colour match was perfect. I paired it with a lovely mother of pearl pendant. It was a green pendant and I felt like it broke up the pink a little bit. I then also added a lovely green scarf to represent her hair. So I went with a lovely pair of pink boots that I found in a charity shop that had loads of ruffle detailing and just sparkles, and it just really fit the Tsarina vibe. Overall, I really enjoyed this challenge. I found it was really fun, really interesting, made me think outside of the box, and overall I think the look turned out well.
So Mr. TrueGreen7 has tasked me with the goal of doing a Pokemon-inspired fit, and I was tasked with doing Darkrai. However, there is one aspect of it that I think is going to be really interesting that I have kind of a neat idea, or maybe a weird idea, to make it happen. So Darkrai has a crest, a red crest in the front of it, and my game plan, while it does sound insane and also very uncomfortable, I could make it so I go get a hoodie and wear it backwards. And I feel like if I just wear this and then zip it up, I can have the hoodie peeking through the top of it, which looks exactly the same way as the crest does. Therefore, I'm able to kind of recreate that, which would be really neat.
There is one hoodie that I was going to buy at a retail store. I'm just gonna check now and see if they have it in stock, because a month ago they didn't have it in stock. Okay, so they didn't end up having it, which is a real shame because it is like exactly the same color. However, there is a thrift store that's right next door, so we'll just check that out and see if I can find something there.
It'll make sense. It'll make sense.
All right, I ended up getting the red hoodie. I'm additionally just going to use some black carpenter pants that I have. I have some black socks that I'm going to use. And I needed an undershirt, and so you're not really gonna see it, but I decided to use this instead, my little Caesar shirt. I know that Darkrai has like a long white kind of like mane on the top of its head, and while I wouldn't use a beanie, I don't think I'm really a beanie person, and so I'm just going to use this white hat that I have.
Okay, I'm not mad at it, but it's not good either. I don't know if it's the big puffer jacket or it's the pants with the shoes. Something about it isn't right.
For this look, I chose Sylveon because it's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I've always been a fan of the Eevee evolutions, but Sylveon is my favorite, one, because the design is super cute, and two, it has a great color palette. I think Sylveon fits my wardrobe and my style really well. When I think about Sylveon, I picture bows, of course, but I also see a lot of cottagecore and girly pop vibes. Plus, I already do a lot of looks for broadcasts that are moderately inspired by Pokemon trainers, so I didn't think this would be too tough of a fashion challenge. I actually have this sweater that I bought a long time ago for Sylveon, so it's going to be the focal point of the outfit. I did think about a couple of different options for tops, but the ruffles remind me a lot of Sylveon's ribbons, and I think adding white to the rest of the outfit will really pull it all together. I also have these stockings that look like they'll be perfect. And because Sylveon has pink feet, I have to have pink shoes. Now that that's done, no outfit is complete without styling and accessorizing your hair. And voila! Overall, I am super happy with how this turned out, and I didn't have to buy anything to put the outfit together. I have way too many clothes. What do you think?
Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and when Ron approached me about this, I knew I had this kind of cloak, almost like hoodie thing going on. It's like a cardigan. I thought it would be perfect for Decidueye. So with the hood being like the main draw of Decidueye, I also wanted to do its ruffles, the little ruffled feathers it has. I thought that at this costume store that I was at would have the perfect thing for that. I managed to find this kind of off-white, almost tunic-esque shirt, but when I tried it on, it just didn't quite fit right. It didn't quite feel right. So I went back to my closet and looked again, and here I found this shirt that kind of gave a little bit of the same vibes. It wasn't as ruffly, but it had that kind of tannish vibe of the feathers of Decidueye. Then I threw in some of these lighter khaki pants to match. Then I added in this orangish brown leather belt that I thought would match the accents of Decidueye, on the face and on some of its feathers. I initially wanted to go with these kind of Nike shoes because they have the little black tip, kind of like the black tips of Decidueye's feet. But in the end, I went for these shoes as they just felt like they matched the vibe of the outfit more, and the Nike ones were just a little too big and clunky. And I recently got this burnt orange beanie while I was in London for EUIC. When paired with these glasses, I thought would match Decidueye's mask. So I put it all on and decided to go out for a photo shoot.
I picked Glaceon as my inspiration because it's one of my favorites and we have the same bangs. So I started in my closet, but I quickly realized that the only thing I had that could work well for this was a pair of light blue flats, so it was time to go to the mall. I stopped at Uniqlo first to look for some basics, and I found this really cute light blue top. This challenge was a little difficult at first because I thought I was going to make the outfit light blue, but I decided that light blue pants would be too matchy-matchy. So I kept looking, and eventually I found this perfect jumpsuit at Urban Outfitters, which fits my style exactly. Instead of wearing this jumpsuit as intended, I turned it into a cute pair of pants. I wanted this tie to represent Glaceon's tail, and I used the light blue flats to contrast the pants. Then I went home and added a few more accessories online, and then I started styling everything. I went with beaded accessories to represent ice since Glaceon is an ice type, and this bag added more light blue. I also used temporary hair dye to make my hair blue, and I styled it with these scrunchies to represent Glaceon's long ears. I had a lot of fun with this challenge, and having a concept in mind and a color palette made shopping really fun. Also, this already matches my current style, so I'll definitely wear it again in the future.
What's up everyone, it's Dusty Gogoat. I chose Salamence for this challenge. There's really 3 colors of this design. I assumed that would be easy to accomplish, and it was definitely a little bit of a challenge, but we figured it out. My original plan was to just wear maybe a couple layers of blue and then wear a red jacket. To imitate the red markings all over Salamence's body, I decided to wear a red tie. I had my light wash jeans on. I wore some classic white Reeboks with some red accents. I thought that fit really, really nicely. And finally, to illustrate the massive red wings, which is as integral to this design as anything else, I pretended like it was still winter time wearing this outfit and threw on my bright red LL Bean puffer coat. And honestly, I think this design looked pretty good. I'll often wear business casual out and about for work, and in the wintertime, you gotta wear a big jacket. So this combination of loud colors really came together nicely. I'm just grateful that part of this challenge wasn't actually to wear the outfit out and about in town.
Hey guys, it's Sunnie, and the Pokemon I decided to dress up as is Manaphy. Manaphy is my favorite mythical, and I sobbed at her movie, so she seemed like the perfect choice for me. Now, unfortunately, the first idea was to paint my face blue, so I used the Pokemon eyeshadow palette and just went ham, contouring my face blue. Manaphy is also literally wearing yellow eyeshadow, so this made the makeup look super easy. This is where I start to question all of my decisions as I looked in the mirror in horror at my work, but this is definitely a trust the process situation. I finished the look with a red lip to tie in her red gem, filled in my eyebrows, did some eyelashes, and I actually really like how it turned out. Lastly, for my hair, Manaphy literally has a cute little ponytail, so to copy it, I threw my own hair in a ponytail with a blue scrunchie, split it in half, and then tied the ends to look like the little balls that she has at the end of her hair. Now, the outfit is where things got tricky because I realized very quickly I don't own any blue. While I was exiting my closet, however, I remembered my beautiful blue leg warmers that I used for a Leaf cosplay almost 3 years ago. I ordered a dress off Amazon, threw on the leg warmers, and grabbed a little pendant necklace that I owned already that was red and perfect to match her gem. I struggled to tie the bow on the back of my dress, then proceeded to struggle to put on the necklace that I made with a gold chain and the red pendant, and this was the final look. I had so much fun doing this challenge and turning myself into Manaphy for the day. It was definitely a little tricky, but I think it was a good challenge and definitely put my makeup skills to the test. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.
For my outfit, I decided on Toxicroak for 2 reasons. 1, because he's my favorite Pokemon, and 2, because he's the best Pokemon. He matched my wardrobe pretty well, given that he's mainly just red, blue, white, and hints of yellow. So I went in kind of digging around trying to find what I could that matched that look, and ultimately went with this whole idea of a sports dad style fighter. And I'm pretty happy with it. I did have to bust out the sewing machine and hem a couple things together to make some stuff work a little bit closer to what I wanted, but ultimately, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So without much further ado, here is my personal take on Toxicroak as a human trainer. So I worked first to break down Toxicroak into some of the aspects that make it a Pokemon that I love. A big part of that is that Gen 4 breakup of shapes and line work, as well as that big punch of color. I turned the red poison sac that Toxicroak has on its chest into a red backpack that I carried around with me. I also thought that using the sport motif that I was going for allowed me to utilize more sports type stylings to bring in that black, and the black line work on the face of Toxicroak to match the under eye makeup that I was using. This really got me looking at a different part of my brain to make this project work for me, and it was a ton of fun, very different to play with fashion. So thanks a ton, Ron, and I'll catch you guys next time.
The first thing I did was run to my closet and start rummaging through to find something to be a starting point for us. And then, after looking through for a little bit, I remembered the green dress that I got in Harajuku, Japan. And I knew exactly what my outfit was going to be inspired by. Lilligant. Lilligant has this bell shape that I knew I was going to be able to achieve, not just with this green dress, but also having a petticoat underneath to give myself a little extra poof. Once I had those pieces, I knew the last thing that I wanted was some way to represent the giant red flower that's over Lilligant's head, and I discovered a brand new fashion accessory that I had no idea existed before this video. Fascinators. Turns out there are these fancy cocktail party hats from Victorian times that were all the rage, and in modern day you can find a billion of them on Amazon. So this was perfect. This was exactly what I wanted, where it's nice, it's big, it's red, and also subtle enough that I feel like I could go out to a party and not draw too much attention or confuse someone that I was doing a cosplay, right? But if you know, you know. You get what I'm saying? Once I had everything put together, I thought, what better way to debut the final piece than at Go Tour Unova. Here's the final look. Let me know what you think. Overall, I found this challenge super fun. The most difficult part was actually not getting all the pieces put together, but instead trying to get Lilligant to cooperate for a cute little AR photo at Go Tour. This Lilligant did not want to behave. Do you see this? Anyway, that's it from me. You all let me know what you think.
I picked Krookodile because not only is he one of my favorite Pokemon, but the black, red, and gray color scheme, it's literally my entire wardrobe almost. So for me, it wasn't too hard to recreate this outfit. I just needed to make sure I had the good red jacket for it and make sure I had some type of gray shirt for it. So then all I really needed was some good like black pants because I feel like a red on red would just be way too much. And then obviously Krookodile looks like he's wearing glasses, so I mean I had to pull out the Piv Vipers. I mean come on, they match perfectly. Now I don't pull them out often, but I had to choose the Yeezys. Side note, I don't support Kanye. I just like the shoes. Well, altogether, I think this outfit is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm gonna turn some heads when I'm walking in public. Though I am married, so I'm not gonna be looking back. They're just gonna be looking at me. I'm gonna be looking fly. A 10 out of 10, dime piece. And if you wanna fight, yo, I'm here for a fight, boy.
So I'm a shiny hunter, and of course I had to choose a shiny for the challenge. I'm not someone who has a whole bunch of outfits. My clothing is usually very casual, but sometimes I have things in the event where I have to dress up nice. So I have this black jumpsuit and these black boots that I totally didn't borrow from Glitch. And the only bit of red I had was my red band for my Apple Watch. Shiny Rayquaza is black and gold, so of course I had to get some gold accents. I'm a big Alex and Annie collector, so I put a couple of those on with some gold sunglasses. Hopefully I did a good job, but regardless, I had so much fun dressing up with Glitch, and thanks for having me.
Now, the reason why I chose Rayquaza is that it is a pretty dope Pokemon, and plus Pokemon Emerald is literally one of the best Pokemon games. And I think it matches my current wardrobe because, let's be honest, I love doing streetwear all the time, especially when I travel. Look at me picking out my joggers right here. Also gotta iron out my joggers. And honestly, with my wardrobe, I don't think it was that hard to kind of pick things out for this Pokemon. I have the shoes, I have the shirts, I have the pants, I have the accessories. Look at that. I love Casio. Plus the gold accessories matches the yellow/gold accents on Rayquaza perfectly, and I had that available, though I think I might toss the hat. Not sure about that one. And then here's the fit laid out. We got the Doc Martens, we have the Psycho Bunny joggers, which are very roomy, and we have this shirt that I picked up in Korea for like, $10. Pokemon Emerald not included, and the gold accessories, and I think I'm tossing this hat. And here is the fit. I am rocking it. I am feeling it. Streetwear Rayquaza, and here I am waving goodbye with my counterpart Shiny Rayquaza. 10 out of 10 would do it again. Thanks for having me on, Ron.
As you can tell, I have a lot of clothes that are all kind of just the same. Black t-shirts. So I got to work. So why not mix up my favorite Pokemon with my favorite color and my favorite typing, Hisuian Typhlosion. The shirt and the pants match Typhlosion's skin tone. The purple hoodie helps with Typhlosion's back being, well, purple. The purple scarf helps with the purple flames around its neck. And the beanie is the final touch because its head is purple as well. I never wear scarves, so I was kind of excited to get one for myself to actually wear in the winter. Huge shout out to Ron for having me in this video, and I cannot wait to see all the other outfits people choose as well.
So the Pokemon I chose to base my outfit off of is Gothorita. I picked Gothorita because I felt like she would be an unexpected choice by anyone who is only familiar with me as the Alcremie girl. I then used these bow ties to put my hair up, which took forever. They really put up a fight. And then I literally glued the other bows onto my ears. I also styled the dress with all black boots and tights to mimic Gothorita's legs. Gothorita is a mixture of a little bit creepy, a little bit cute, and lots of bows. I had such a lovely time with this challenge.
What's up guys, I'm QJCosmic, and for my Pokemon-inspired outfit, I chose Torterra. Why? Because it's the best starter Pokemon, and I originally thought I had a lot more Torterra-esque clothing. Obviously, brown pants for the underside, and they had to be sturdy, so maybe cargo pants? I already had several basic brown hiking boots, so we went with one of those. The undershirt either had to be a green or a brown as well, and with a jacket or vest of the opposite color to stay with the outdoorsy theme. Where I ran into trouble though was the stone spikes on the head, back, and wrapping around its shell. It was until I realized that those spikes could be headphones, and the stone wrapping around it could be a backpack. Then maybe a green beanie to cover the top of the head, and we were done. And obviously, I'm missing the giant tree sprouting off his back, but the overall look, I'm pretty happy with. And I honestly enjoyed this challenge a ton. Originally, I assumed it would be a challenge of picking some clothes that are the right color. But it was a lot more fun breaking down each piece of the Pokemon to see what I could make an outfit out of. Thanks Ron again for having me in this challenge, and until next time, bye-bye!
I picked Ribombee because the Cutie Fly line is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon lines from Gen 7, and Ribombee is wearing a scarf. I wear a lot of neutrals, so making this outfit really wasn't going to be too hard. I had this yellow short sleeve top and some white corduroy pants, but I don't really like the look of a short sleeve shirt with like a winter scarf, so I traded it out for a yellowish cream sweater, and I ended up buying a brown scarf, and the look was complete. I also paired it with some fun new shoes I recently got, and Obviously, Ribombee isn't wearing shoes, but I don't know, they kind of match the wings, so that's fun. Overall, the challenge was super fun, and the scarf is a really iconic part of Ribombee, and I'm glad that my already pretty neutral wardrobe was able to pull off this look so easily.
So I chose Wo-Chien because frankly I think people would have words if I didn't, but my typical outfit is pretty Midwest. I like my open shirts and tank tops, flannels, all of that. Luckily for me, I picked up this women's cardigan in a store back in Portland, and this is just an excuse to finally wear it. It's green after all. So I opted for some loose cloth pants that rest just below the knee, and some moccasins for the occasion. No socks, we got the grippers out. I got some braids done in my hair and pushed them back with a brown bandana, and of course we need some gold jewelry since he's a treasure of ruin after all. It feels correct. It feels ruinous. It feels actually very spacious. Like I could wear this in any weather. And it's also so flowy, dude. Look how flowy it is in the wind.
I picked Alolan Muck because this is a super colorful Pokemon, and I love vibrant and colorful things. In my closet, I have a few color block shirts to pick from and an awesome jacket to go with it. These aren't the exact colors, but they are close enough for me. I love a good pair of sneakers, so I found my most Alolan Mucky looking pair of Jordans to go with the jacket, and because Alolan Muck has all these crazy crystals, I knew I had to add a little bedazzle myself. Fabulous. I also finished off the look with a selenite crystal necklace to channel my inner Muck. I thought this was a fun challenge, and I hope I did it justice, but I'm fully prepared to get roasted for the colors not being the exact same palette, but I think I look really cool.
Hey everyone, it's me, AbsolBlogsPokemon, and obviously I had to go with Absol since it's my favorite Pokemon. Now, matching it with my wardrobe wasn't too tough. It's got the black and white or blue and white yin and yang thing going on. Got some white shorts, live that youngster lifestyle, comfy and easy to wear. Black and white checkered shirt. These Absol shoes that are definitely unofficial that I got from an Instagram ad a few years ago. This really sick necklace from the Pokemon Center that I got last year from their Terracool collection. And an Absol hat that I bought from an artist on Etsy. Here's the final fit. Even though Absol's the disaster Pokemon, I hope I'm not too much of a fashion disaster. I don't really try to coordinate my outfits too much, so I had a lot of fun doing this. It was a nice exercise in that. You never know what you have that might match the vibe of the Pokemon you're going for.
I'm cosplaying East Sea Gastrodon. Super slimy, but the blue-green colors I wanted to look for at my local thrift store. And ended up getting this dress and this green cardigan to really emphasize the Gastrodon colors. I got a blue ribbon there that I'm hot gluing to the cardigan because he's got like the little gold accent lines there, and I wanted to show that in the cosplay. I used some foam modeling clay that I've had sitting around for a while to try to create those sort of ball with the tail things that's on either side of its head. It's not very good. I'm so sorry. There's the reference there. I did not do a great job. Painted them green and hot glued them to my headband. And now we wanted to work on the makeup, so we got the clown makeup set that I have and continuing those gold lines through the eye that the Gastrodon has as well, and adding the third eye to the forehead there. Really getting the slimy accents going for the Gastrodon. Added my regular makeup to it, put on my glasses. We got the dress, the cardigan, and the headband. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. But there's my final look. And just wanted to say thank you to TrueGreen7 for the invite. It was really fun to figure out how to dress up like Gastrodon.
So for this challenge, I picked Duskull. I've got this hoodie with a skull on it, which naturally inspired the idea, these pants that match Duskull's color palette pretty well, my shoes that do the same, and obviously Duskull would be rocking Jordans if it had feet. I mean, that's just obvious. And then finally, I needed a red pair of sunglasses to match Duskull's eyes, so I set out to grab a pair of those, but after searching multiple stores, I couldn't really find anything, so I just resorted to Amazon. In the end, though, it was worth it because it really tied the whole outfit together to match Duskull pretty well in my opinion. In the end though, this experience was a lot of fun to be a part of, and I really feel like it's brought Duskull and I a lot closer together.
I love Slitherwing. Some may say that I'm even the biggest Slitherwing fan. But it's not just enough to have these shirts. I want to be just like Slitherwing. I've dressed up as Slitherwing before, so I have a couple pieces for this outfit already. I have an orange dress, because I unfortunately don't have big orange wings. I do have a fluffy white vest. I got a green article of clothing to try and have a tail, and of course, Slitherwing is gonna have big boots, right? All this together thinks it looks okay, but I'm missing one thing. A little red hair ribbon, and I think this comes together pretty well. Not as cute as the original Slitherwing, but I think it's okay.
You know, when people meet me for the first time, typically the first thing they think is, wow, this guy knows fashion. So it's no surprise that Ron asked me to be a part of this, but the only issue is I couldn't find anything in my wardrobe that screamed Pokemon, except for the sweatshirt, which to me screamed Zebstrika. Starting with the sweatshirt and black pants as the base, and to give my legs some white stripes, I have these elastic bands from a cosplay I did recently, and I have my old black and white sneakers. Now, the head was the tricky part, but I managed to find these custom knitted hats by Leafly on Etsy, and the mohawk style definitely gives off the vibe I was going for. Not only that, but it turned out that Leafly was actually local to where I live, so I asked if she wanted to meet up, and she was willing to go the extra mile to make a custom Zebstrika hat. Not only was it cool to meet her in person, but the hat was incredible. And yeah, it even has blue ears to match Zebstrika. So if you want a hat like this, definitely check out Leafly's website. And to finish off with Zebstrika's yellow eyes, I found a cheap pair of shades to complete the look, but I think it's time for the drip check. And yeah, even though I don't exactly know what I'm doing, hopefully I gave Ron enough poses to work with here.
I want to thank everyone who participated in this collab. It's by far the most effort I've asked these YouTubers to exert. But in the end, the final product is something I'm very proud of. I would love to potentially do this again, maybe annually, but only if you guys share this. Leave a like and subscribe to let me know you're into this kind of stuff. Check the description for all these peeps and my Patreon where you can get cool rewards like seeing my videos days early and discount on my merch. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky to see sneak peeks of my videos and Fakemon, and I'll see you guys very soon.